Hi. The very first two sessions has been explained about the prerequisites for SAP NetWeaver 7.4 gateway installation media, and as well as the second session has been shown you how to install and complete installation process and all that. And the third session today I would like to go with the post steps once the gateway has been installed. So to start off with, let's go to transaction code SPRO. Expand SAP NetWeaver, expand SAP Gateway, expand our data channel, and expand configuration. And here you will see activate or deactivate SAP Gateway. So first you have to execute this. It will pop up saying that it has been deactivated, or if you want to activate, yes, we would like to activate this. So make sure you see this message SAP Gateway is active. So this is the first step for Fiori configuration once as part of our post steps. So once this is activated, so we need to proceed for the next steps for configuring some profile parameters. Go to RZ. Your OS is Unix based platform. So if it is a Windows, we can directly set it as a 443 or anything which is related to the HTTPS stuff. So in our case, it should be an external bind. So we have set it as 443 as well as 8443. So once these parameters has been set for RZ in RZ10, so this is also we need to specify these parameters to for the service or port that is used for a protocol. Either the service name or the port number can be specified. So just to explain in detail about these parameters, like what is its value and range and its syntax. For protocol, it can have any values like HTTP, HTTPS, SMTP, P4, so on. And with the with prot equals to HTTPS, as you can see here, and port with option port, you can specify the port by its number or service name. So the value 0 means that no port for inbound connections can be opened for the specified protocol. And the timeout options we can set for can be configured. The network timeout, like timeout, and the processing timeout, proc timeout here, these two parameters. So timeout is a keep alive timeout for the network connection, and proc timeout is a processing timeout for communication with the backend, which is work process. So once the parameters has been set, restart the server. So once the server has been restarted, let's proceed to create a security role, trusted RFC. Go to transaction code PFCG. So Z underscore is security trusted RFC. So let's create this role. As it has already been created, so I just want to add a couple of authorizations here. So go to authorizations tab, change authorization data. So manually add all these authorizations profiles so that you will not have any issues while accessing the front end and back end Fiori applications. I just turned on technical names on so that you can see what are the manual authorizations required. So add S underscore RFC, S underscore RFC ACL, S underscore service, and S underscore develop. And transaction code I just mentioned as star, so which is taking for everything. So we need to fine tune and define the security roles accordingly. So once all these authorization profiles has been added, just generate it and save it. So now the authorization profile has been created. So just assigning to my user. So this step is really required to make sure the both systems, like the front end and the back end, are having the same roles assigned to you for your user. So in terms of embedded system, like in our case it is an embedded system, so in this case we can create one trusted RFC. But in terms of central hub system, which means like the gateway box is different and as well as ECC box is different, in that case we need to create the same security role, trusted RFC, between those two systems and in each individual systems, and that role has been assigned to your user irrespective of whether the Fiori PFCG roles has been assigned or not. So the first step is you need to have the security trusted RFC role to be assigned with the necessary authorization profiles. Once this is done, let's go and create a trusted RFC between these two systems. So now as a next step, we'll go and create system aliases. So go to SPRO transaction code and expand SAP NetWeaver, expand SAP gateway, expand data channel, expand configuration, and expand connection settings, expand SAP gateway to SAP system. Here manage SAP system aliases, so execute that. So as you notice, I've created two system aliases, which is talking to the backend system, and these two are by default came along with SAP, so do not touch those local and MG1. So I created one system alias which is my SID underscore client with the RFC, and just notice the software version for without process gateway, we need to make sure it has been pointed to the default and the system ID and its respective client. So these are the parameters which should be required while creating a system alias. So in terms of a process gateway system alias, this is required for approval process. So for in that scenarios we use this system alias. So make sure the software version has been selected as IWPGW/BWF. So these are the only two system aliases required in our case. So let's save it and go back. So once the system